right, hello and good morning everyone, good afternoon, good evening. Paul Trani here. Welcome everybody. Michelle, Andreas, Viola, Sam Peterson's in the house. I want to welcome everybody also joining me elsewhere. There we go, let's do a little bit of that action. And yeah, here we are, folks. Good to have you here. You're here just in time. So this is your master class. And we're going to dive into the different logo types. I say 5. You could divide it up into more categories, but I see 5 is probably the most common way to sort of divide up the different logo types that are out there. So good to have you here, Rob, Umakan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Frank's in the house. Cool. All right, so everything seems to be going just fine, and hopefully there is no echo. So I've had that happen before. So let's dive into this, folks. Shall we do that? Yeah, let's share my screen. Welcome everyone. All right, got my coffee. I see Ashatam out there as well. Rocky, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. We need to connect. Boy, do we ever. Is this a little disconcerting when I'm on the right side? Maybe I should be on the left side. But here we have sort of the different types. So we have, I'm just going to go ahead and give it away right now. Let's dive into this. So we have word marks, right? Letter marks, brand marks, combination mark, and emblem, right? And then I have an assortment of logos here. So I know a lot of people are pros at this and can probably tell the difference between these, but let's go ahead and do this because this will be fun. So let's hide artboards. Again, some of the sort of major brands down here we take a look at. It's like what would a word mark be, right? What's up, Rick? How you doing? Is everybody doing well? I'm going to make some logos. So this is the short of it. I'm going to go over these 5 different logo types, but I also posted it to Twitter. So let's go out there. Let's close those other resources. I'll get into those in a little bit. But I posted this to Twitter, just so you know. And I was like, hey, let me know, can I make you a logo? Like, what do you guys got going on? So I have actually kind of commissioned the community. So feel free, if you are interested in me like knocking out a logo. I'm not saying I'm going to get to everything. Of course I won't. But would love to hear from you. I think I saw Michelle here, and Michelle posted in here. I love this idea, by the way. Picture Detective. I have ideas for children's book series where the illustrations will give kids clues to help them solve the mystery. That's awesome. Picture Detective. That might be more like a sort of title art is what I see that as. Just so you know. But yeah, so I posted that, and we'll get into that as well. But feel free to kind of throw out any if you want me to make you a logo. So, all right, let's do this, folks. Hello, everybody. I need me some coffee. First up, word mark, right? Guess what? It's going to be the whole word. So, in this case, which one of these would be like a word mark? Starbucks, Harley Davidson? Maybe, but it's probably going to be Uber. So Uber's probably your most likely candidate for something being a word mark right up here, okay? And let's make this even larger, huh? Shall we? Make it easy to see. Crank it up. Shift it. Make it bigger. Make the type bigger. I'll be using Illustrator for most of this, just so you know. Space this out. There we go. Let's space this out even more, huh? This is me all day long. Even when I work on presentations, I spend way too much time formatting everything, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do content. We have Lettermark now as well. Like, which one would be the letter? Viola needs a logo for your bar. Type it in there. And please tell me you're getting video. Yeah, Viola, I love the whole idea of bar. All right, Jess is in the house. Good to see ya. So we have Lettermark up next, right? What would be a Lettermark out of all these logos? What would be like a lettermark? Oh, you're probably thinking CNN. Oh, you would be correct. I'm not even giving you enough time to answer. You'd be right. HBO, CNN, those are your lettermarks, right? Nobody calls it home box office anymore, right? You guys are good. Brand mark. What goes under brand mark? You guys probably know this as well. Cool. John McGrath Art. Hello. Hold on, I gotta turn on my coffee. Oh yes, I saw that. Christine, smooth sailing. It's good to know that you're here, by the way, because I have that written down. It's already in my file. Brand mark, you guessed it. It's going to be something like Twitter, the Nike swoosh, right? We could talk about more of these too. Under lettermark, lettermarks might be McDonald's would be a popular one. Combination mark. What's a combination mark and what's an emblem, right? I think you guys kind of know this because we already have Nike over here. Well, guess what? They can have a brand mark and a combination mark as well. So we'll put those under that category. Under the category of shoes. Oh, boom. Golden Rolls. Nails it. Chris Georginas. What's up, man? Good to see you here. I like having you here. Emblem. You guys get the idea. Now, by the way, like a lot of these logos, some logos just have their one logo, especially the really strong brands. CNN, McDonald's, right? Just has, well, actually McDonald's does have more, but some brands sort of evolve and live in multiple categories, like Nike, and that's why I put that example in there. It's like, hey, it's a brand mark, it's a combination mark. Guess what? It's also a word mark if you just take the word Nike. So it has everything in there. So, good morning, James. So yeah, I threw that out to Twitter, said, hey, you know what? You got a business that you're working on, or you want to make up one? I don't know. I think I'm going to die because my coffee's not hot anymore. I might die. I don't know what's happening. All right, but let's check this out. These are the names that I got so far. And more might roll in. Again, I asked Twitter. Feel free to reach out to me there if you want to, or even in chat since you're here already. I'm just trying to make it easy on you. But got a number of suggestions. Q, air heating and air conditioning. Picture detective. 88 graphic design. Aerosol infantry. Smooth sailing. I like smooth sailing. Christine said she's here as well, so that puts it as a contender as well. And I think Michelle's here as well, so we'll move this one forward as well. Okay, and then Cakey's Cookies, which is also cool. So these are kind of like our different brands that we can kind of knock out real fast. And I hate cold coffee too. I'm gonna die, folks. It's not working. So yeah, all right. So let's dive into this and have some fun. Ooh, that's a great question. What's your favorite brand logo of all time? Like old or new, right? It's a good question. Favorite brand. Thank you, Sam. Ooh, Cakey's Cookies. So let's do this. These will be our three that we'll work with. And these will fall into different categories, okay? Some ideas out here are already kind of fleshed out, right? Elevated is already stylized as LVTD. Like that's kind of already kind of fleshed out, but it really doesn't matter. It's like you kind of got to go with what the business gives you, right? Just so you know. So that's all. Aerosol Infantry, I can't go to them, hey, change your name, just because I want to make a cool logo that's different. Okay. What I typically do is I would actually do some research. So first thing I'm going to do, say for, and I'm sorry, I'm going to take smooth sailing first, because this is going to be more of like a type lockup. This one's going to end up being more like a word mark more than anything, just so you know. Picture detective. I love Cakey's Cookies as well. This one's going to be amazing. The fun thing about this is that you get to make sort of a small version to go on the bottom of the package, and then a larger version for the website, and you end up creating all these different ones. Like you'll have a logo, and then you'll have the signature, which might be the logo, Cakey's Cookies, and then anything else. So, and again, it's called the signature. So let's take these. Let's just dive into this. And again, I don't know what I'm going to do yet because this is all live. So let's dive in with those three. I love Q heating and air conditioning, right? I don't think air needs to be in there twice. I think most are known as just heating and air. But I think what's cool about that, and it's for their last name, which is Quail. Obviously, the Q already shows shows air movement within this logo to begin with, within this text. So let's move these up. As we can see right here, we can maybe take an O, right? And then take a line. So I would typically start with research is what I would do. I would go out there and see, I would make sure I'm not making a logo that already exists somewhere, right? So I would probably just do some research, right? That's pretty, hopefully that's pretty obvious, but jump in here. Let's just make this one really fast. Let's crank up the size. This one, just so you know, would fall under the case of like a lettermark. So Q heating and air conditioning. So let me do this really fast. At least this is the one that I'm inspired by the most. I'd probably make sure that that's the same thickness as that. Like that. Take that, and I can make sure it's exact. I'd probably only want like maybe 3 lines or maybe 4, but let's just take those and let's use a blend tool on that. Bam, bam. There we are. And the nice thing is we could adjust these all we want. And it will automatically like adjust the spacing, right? Because I could tell this curve isn't perfect, right? I could still play with that. We can give this a little bit of depth. And what I would do is I'd put it inside of this circle right here. So let's take this. Heck, let's just create an outline for it. Thank you so much for joining me today. We got a full day of master classes. So it should be pretty fun, everyone. I see an option for quo as in status quo. But you know what? Q heating and air is so much bigger than that. They're so much bigger than the status quo. That's everybody else, not Q heating and air. Let's make sure that's sent to the back. All right. Take this and scale it maybe up a little bit. There we go. And then let's actually adjust this line down like so. And since we've done that, we can change the blend mode, or excuse me. Yeah, basically the blend to specified steps. Let's go 3, see what happens. Click OK. Too much. I knew that was going to happen. But the whole idea is sort of like make it look like air's flowing through is the idea. All right. Put a fan blade in there. Yeah, that could work. I want to kind of deal with depth too. Again, we're brainstorming. I want to get to the other designs as well, since Keki's Cookies here, Michelle is here, and who else is here? Yes, I need to do smooth sailing. Yeah, so many I need to do. So anyways, do that. Bring that beneath that. You can do something kind of like that. And I can add maybe a little bit of a shadow. Let's think about this. Do we play with depth? So let me just jump in here. And again, I'm not saying all this stuff is going to be perfect, but this is kind of how I'd execute on this design. You know, do we give it like a little bit of depth? by missing that. There it is. Let's close that up. And I could probably trim that up a little bit. Does that look like a Q? Maybe that doesn't actually look like a Q, because you know why? This line is not as thick as the others, so I need to change that. In my opinion, this line needs to be thicker. And it needs to have less steps. Anyways, something like that. I would work on the curves more, but that's sort of the initial concept, right? That I would have sketched out normally. Oh yeah, hey, brands of the world, I like it. By the way, also talking about resources, exactly what I was going to do. So we have brands of the world, ads of the world. There's also logo book, right? So take a look at logo book. You can see a ton in here, right? So we have letters and numbers, right? So we can see as we zoom out, if we're working on a lettermark, which is exactly what we were doing, that one needs a little bit of work still. I locked everything down. There we go. Oh, it's fine. Anyways, so if you take a look out here, logo book. Let's go to Q just to maybe get inspired. Q. And look at this, gorgeous, right? So I don't know, some people kind of design and because they don't want to get influenced by anything that they see out there. Other people just kind of jump in and do their research. Yeah, I'm really into this, but I'd want some that look like air conditioning. Like this kind of looks like air conditioning, but lots of cool ones in here. Not all of them look like Qs, admittedly. This one looks gorgeous, right? And this is kind of what I was trying to replicate with these sad lines right in here, just so you know. So, okay, everybody, let's move on, shall we? That looks like kind of like an on switch. So, anyways, logo book's awesome. Sweet. Welcome, John. Ooh, so Steve, when you look at, when you're like looking for a font, you'll look at some of the interesting characters like Q. There we go. Jump in here, have that selected, go out, and just kind of roll through all the Qs available, and you can see how they start to vary a lot. Yeah. All right, but I've said this before, it's like when if you're creating a logo, you're not necessarily just picking a font. That's not really logo creation. You could start with it, but then learn where to go from there. All right, I like that one. Let's just drop that right there. Let's move on, huh? Not the best one because I'm still seeing an O. That's okay. Let's move on to something else, shall we? Move these down. We have Picture Detective, Smooth Sailing, and Katie's Cookies. Oh yeah. Let's do Picture Detective. This is going to end up probably being more like a word mark or an emblem, right? So let's play some with those. New layer. Let's just turn off everything else. This will be fun. So this is for a children's book. Keep that in mind. For that, I want it to be playful, so I will start with a font. It's definitely going to be like some type lockup, right? I can go with the script, decorative, handwritten, and typically I'll just kind of run through these and see what I get. Right? Already this is a good font. Picture Detective. Boom, boom. Let's just have some fun, everyone. Type has one job, which is to be legible. So if it's not legible, it's not doing its job. Right? So some of these cursive ones, I don't really like read right away. Like these ones get really tough to read. This one's kind of fun. All right, one more category we're gonna work with. Yeah, let's do this lovely script fonts. There you are. So again, this one just seems kind of playful. All right. Tiago, what's up? Good to have you. Reverb Mike. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rick H, you're exactly right. Picture Detective, the very obvious is like a magnifying glass, you know, and we could play with that. Okay, we could do this a couple different ways. Let's grab an ellipse. Make it large. Let's make our lovely little magnifying glass. We'll make it flat initially. Oh, what am I doing? This is what we could do. We could stretch this out. And I want this handle to have different thicknesses. Okay? So I actually want it to be pretty thick down here. Could use the, excuse me, not the shape builder. Just above that is the width tool. So we use the width tool on this. Right? Jump in here, grab that. We could actually click once. Let's just click there. Drag that up. We're getting the width sizes. So we'll go from 20 to about 50, maybe 40. Right? The reason I kind of want to keep track of that size is because I want to duplicate it on this end. All right. This is fascinating. Okay, so grab this one, pull it right into it. Hopefully you're seeing that. Grab this in, we'll pull it right into the very edge. We can see that it gives it that sharp angle. Okay. It is kind of hard to dial this in, to be honest with you. It's like I'm literally just kind of waiting for those to line up. So yeah, that's the situation there. There we go. But we did make a handle. That's pretty easy. Okay. Let's make this part smaller. A little bit, but actually I want to have a magnifying effect. So let's jump in here. Let's get these out of the way. Or a lab, like a beaker and stuff, yeah. We do like fingerprints. Fingerprint would be fun. But I want to do a magnifying glass because I think this would be cool. It's all about finding the little thing in the picture. Again, this is Michelle's. Handle's still a little wonky. Come on, Paul, fix it. I got to fix this. Jump in here with the tool. Zip, zip, like that. Give it a shorter handle like that. You can always give it some depth, but right now that's all we'll go with. We'll grab this. Move this up. And we're just going to have a little bit of magnification. We're going to see if this actually works. So what I need is I want a circle, and within that circle, I need that text to be magnified. So let's do it. We're going to have one size of text and then the other size. How's everybody doing today, huh? Reverb mic. Ooh, we could do, for detective, it could be like a game of Clue. We have like a bunch of mysterious items, like a lead pipe and a rope and a candlestick, things like that. Yeah, so I was gonna do like a magnifying effect on this was my plan. But all I was gonna do is mask it out. So in order to do that, I'm gonna just change the color here real fast. Boom, 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 boom. Bring that to the front. Right in here. We want to mask those two things with a big circle. Zoop. Take those, and then we'll go ahead and make it a clipping mask. Right? Made that a clipping mask. The reason I made that red is just so I could see it, to be honest with you, and so you guys could see it. It's not really going to be red. But now I need to line these two up. So let's actually change this color. Now it's bothering me. Change that back to white. Work it, work it, work it. Cut it. Hold on. X. Put that on 2 lines. Move that over. Make sure that it's on its own layer. And again, this is almost like less logo work. This is obviously a Wordmark, but it's okay, let's adjust this. Spacing. There we go. Bingo. So I'm just trying to connect this U on this side. Picture detective. Okay, we got that done. Cut. New layer. Paste. I can group it, rotate it, make sure everything else is locked down, and get this into position. Oops. All right. Yes, totally rotate the handle down 45 degrees. Rick's really the art director here. Yeah. Ooh, John, Aerosol Infantry's here. Oh, I gotta get on this. I got so much to do. Scale, strokes, and effects. Right, because I want to scale up the handle and everything else. Zip. Zip it up like that. And bring it in just like so. Okay, so this is massive. We're gonna have to make this thinner. And we're gonna need to do a number of things to dial this in. For one, this line is way too thick, and you guys get the idea. I'm going to show you a pro tip here. Check this out, Catherine. So what I really need to do is let's say for instance, I need to size down. So this is made up of multiple strokes. I use the width tool here, right? And it's just complex, right? And really I just want to make the thickness of this magnifying glass like 50% the size. So how would you do that? Right now, if I scale it up, it scales up the stroke, scales down the stroke, right? So what I would do is I would shrink it down, maybe 50% if you want to get that down 50%. Go into your preferences, go into general, and then turn off scale, strokes, and effects. Now that I have that turned off, when I scale it up, you could see that's much thinner, okay? So again, that's what I want to do. I'm not going to get this perfect, right? This makes for a very huge logo. I probably, after looking at it now, I would stack those words, picture and detective underneath and do it that way. But this one definitely needs to be resized, okay? Key thing about this, if I resize this line, I should be able to resize this. boom, relatively. So this is using the width tool and it's scaling up both sides. Okay. Typically what I would do here is I'd actually throw a highlight on here because that would make it look better as well. Should I stack it? Anyways, you guys get the idea. I think this is pretty good. We'll just go with this because there's other logos I need to get to. I don't know why I bit off so much today. Crazy, right? But let's kind of move that off to the side because that one's done for now. I would definitely add some fun highlights in here. So this is going to look better on color and everything. But there we have it. All right. Ooh, you could also use 3D, something like that. Yeah, and also, like, I think this needs a little bit of a curve down here. So I would add all those details. I would have a little bit of a curve on the end. Right. And I'd make sure this part is curved. But let's move on. That one's good. Hopefully that's okay. As I continue to tweak it. And make it not any better. Okay, that's good. Done. Move on. Yeah, fill the entire lens. So this is what I would do, Chris. I don't know what you would do. I would put down I'd want there to be a color back there personally, because this is kind of the sort of masthead for the book. So this is going to be a color, right? Which means I'd have to change the inside. And then I would add a highlight in white. So that's what I would do. All right, you guys get the idea. Oh, I want to change it now. Let's go with... Sure, let's go with this fun color. Peach. So now you should be able to see that highlight. The highlight can be done a number of ways, but if we just draw it in here like that, that's how a highlight would usually go. All right, works for me. All right, guys, let's move on. I have other logos to make. I got a job to do, people. Let's turn on. What do we have in here? We've done this one. We have smooth sailing. We have Keki's cookies. I really like Keki's cookies, to be honest with you. Smooth sailing does web design, digital marketing. Let's see who sent this to me, and I don't know if you're here. Michelle, I need to spend more time on it, and I apologize. I do apologize. Ooh, let's look at this. Let's look at Keki's Cookies on Instagram. Wait for it. Ah, it's great. So she actually doesn't have a logo. Is it okay if I tackle this one? I think this will be good. So let's do this. Oh, this is so good because we actually have, again, real business. Creating some amazing cookies, right? And I'm already like getting really inspired by this. It's fall, y'all. These are awesome. Oh, Catherine is here. Oh, now the pressure is on. Catherine, the pressure. All right. And all I have is cold coffee. Let's do this, because you know what? We're professionals. Let's have some fun. I'd probably do 2 different formats. So the interesting thing here is when you say Keki's Cookies, I assume that's a take on Catherine or Katie, right? Which is awesome. All right. Yeah, Reverb Mike, you're funny. So awesome. Yes. Shout out to Keki's Cookies, by the way. Awesome work. looks amazing. High quality, good photos. You're doing fantastic. This is awesome. Yeah, so let's take this. We have this. Let's just do some work, huh, Paul? Let's do some work. Man, the one thing that's stuck out to me is just the professionalism with those cookies, right? What I can do right now is I could still search through this little window. Oh yeah, I'm seeing some stuff. This Boucherie cursive, this is so nice. Because again, it feels like frosting to me, right? That's what this feels like. I think color's gonna play a huge role in this logo personally, right? Okay, so that's awesome. Love it. Does it still read as a K? Do we need to put a C in there? I feel like if we put a C in there, it's gonna read like Kansas City. So if we just do an acronym, this is not quite gonna work. So I'm just gonna take the K if that works for you guys. And we'll add some fun embellishments. So sometimes with these fonts, and we could take a look. Oh, sure enough, for this one happens to be Funky Dory. Oh, I love Funky Dory, because guess what do we have? Oh, beautiful. Funky Dory is saving the day. I love these additional embellishments, right? For these additional glyphs, right? For this K. Boom. That one doesn't look that much different. What is going on? Ooh, that's fun too. I have no idea where I got this font, by the way. Fascinating. Okay. This one's almost, yeah, that one's good. I'm kind of leaning toward this one. Just do your work, Paul. Get it done. I've gone 37 minutes. I'll be here for another 25 minutes. Too close to Special K. Peter, good call. Is it too much, too close to Special K? Like, definitely, especially if I used red. Like, yeah, you're exactly right. Red, white, that's like Special K, for sure. But that's a good call. I think that's something to look out for. Sometimes I'll actually jump out and I will use something like Wordmark.it. I'll type in K or K keys. Hit enter. If I go to Wordmark.it, this gives me that word and displays it in all the fonts on my hard drive, right? So I could just peruse full screen with some ads, this text in all these different fonts that I have on my desktop. Like this, Pilgi. Like this one might work too. Pilgi. Cool, identified that font, jump out, and do what we need to do. Okay, sometimes you'll search for a font and you won't find it. Click right here, it's because you have a filter on. So just clear everything, and then PIL, it should come up. Come on! Unless it doesn't come up, then what are you gonna do? I don't know why it's not coming up. Again, clear all should actually be in there. Let's move on to fonts.adobe.com. I gotta get this done. I gotta get it done. Catherine, she's a demanding boss. Let's do this. Let's take a look. Oh, why am I searching on Adobe Fonts? Let's browse fonts. There we go. And you can see the number of filters when you jump out here. So this is nice. I want some cursive personally. And keys. There we go. Oh yeah. Hey, Boucherie is what I was using. So that kind of confirms the font that at least I'm interested in. Ooh, Shelby. Gorgeous. Maybe. So we'll remember that. Ooh, Quimby. Oh yeah, I know Quimby. There we go. All right, let's get this party started. There we go. See if there's alternate glyphs. Nope, not for this one. Make this look kind of like an emblem. Send it to the back. Take this, put on white. What I think would be really fun is to make it look like a dollop of like frosting, right? This already could work, but I think a dollop of like, that's what this is saying to me. It's like, just like a dollop of like whipped cream or frosting. So yeah, sounds like people, you're not responding to this one. But, so let's move it over. It's toned down this hot pink. What it's not quite as elegant as I'd want it to be. That's a little bit more cake-like or cookie-like. So the circle's meant to sort of be iconic of a cookie. That's the idea. You guys still reading that as a K? What we could do a little bit of an offset. Let's do a little bit of an offset for this. There we go. Darker color. Make it a touch larger. Make this a little larger as well. We might feel the need to do the same for this K. All right, which we can do. Okay, oh, piping bag. Choco chips, I like it. Catherine, what's your idea? I might have missed it. Darn it. A piping bag. Okay, I don't know what those look like, but let's find out. Okay, got it. It's little, I guess we're, just take that. Boom, boom, bring it in. Ah, did I just miss it? No, it was in there. Yeah, maybe a piping bag. You know what I'm thinking about, Catherine, is I'm thinking about your Instagram, and I'm thinking about this like small icon that you have right up here of you, which is great, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think a piping bag is gonna read within here. It's just, it might not read. So that's kind of the problem I'm thinking of. Okay. That's the problem with the piping bag. But I think for other uses, like on your website, that might work. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty basic. Okay. All right, let's check this out. This is looking pretty basic, right? Not a huge fan. Let's again just take this to the next level. Even this alone is better, by the way. But let's kind of really sell the 3D thing. So let's take this. Let's move this over. We're just gonna take this K. We'll go to 3D and we'll just do an extrude and bevel, right? So with this extrude and bevel, it's of course going to bevel. It's going to give you a sharp edge, right? And actually gives you this depth. You can sort of adjust the axes, right? You can see what we're getting. We can kind of give it that angle, but what we want to do is we want to jump in with the bevel and we want to make it rounded. So now we're starting to get those highlights that we like, okay? From here, we'll take the height. Ooh, hello, not too much. Those start conflicting. Interesting. Fascinating. Okay, so this is more along the lines of what I like. We can go into more options right down here and control the lighting. Make it from the upper left to make sure it's hitting right there. Let's take this down to say 20. I'm still getting a little bit of funkiness. If you're in any one of these fields, you know, you want to see it actually take effect, just hit the tab key. We're getting like a little bit of that bevel. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm still getting this weird fractal thing. So ultimately what I would do there is I would outline this text. So right in here, we'll get rid of that extrude and bevel. We will outline the text. And we'll just take a look at all the different points. So there's a lot of points in here, and it's causing issues. So let's go ahead and object path. Simplify, which is actually brand new. Look at this is going to help out so much. Look what it did magically. Look at how many fewer points there are. This is so nice, right? And then just click away. You don't have to hit enter. I know, I always do that. Command Y, we have a smooth K. Now we can go in and do our bevel on this. So effect, we'll just apply the extrude and bevel, which is the last one we just had, and sure enough, we've cleaned it up, right? See what we did? This was before with too many points, and this is the after, where everything's like nice and smooth. So that's what we can do. We can also do that with a circle. So if we draw out that circle now, right? What I actually have going on is like applying the last used effect to what you're creating, but anyway. Right in here, again, just like change the color. Right, put this on top. I said on top. There we go. And now we have like something like with a little bit more of a, I don't know, style to it. Yeah, too many points for sure. I would want to make this even thicker too. So just because I want it to stand out. But my only concern is this little part kind of not reading right. Like I almost want to bring that to a point, to be honest with you. So again, we still have our cleaned up version right over here that we could take and modify. It's right in here. Let's get rid of that point. Let's get rid of that point. You know, and we might mess this up too much. Let's undo that a little. Minus key. Oh, nope. Keep that one. Ah, this is the designer's life. Aerosol infantry. Sorry, I didn't get to that yet. With aerosol infantry, I would refrain from using anything that looks like a spray can, because one, I think spray cans like kind of have like, I don't know, is it a 90s grunge look? That's what spray cans kind of feel like to me. Any splatter, whatever, right? That's what it feels like to me. I could always trick this a little bit as well. So we'll just hit N for pencil. We'll do a line. We'll make sure smoothing is turned up, and then we'll just do a curve like that. Okay, so there's my curve. We'll bring this up to 30, right? We will actually jump in and cap the ends, right? Nice and smooth. And then we'll use our width tool, which we used earlier. So jump in here, width tool, and then making it smaller there, but thicker, say, right up here. So that's how we would get our, like, that's how we'd get just a nice, like a nice spiral for this K. So again, new version. Again, we're just going to be nice and elegant. Maybe this could even be on this end, for instance. That might look pretty good. Yeah, so aerosol infantry, if you do AI, then I'm going to think of augment, what am I thinking of? What would I think of? Artificial intelligence. That's what I would think of when I see AI. Hey, do you want to do a perfect spiral? Guess what? There actually is a perfect spiral right in here because there's actually a spiral tool. Look, back here, spiral. We can control this twirl as well, okay? So I'm actually doing an up and down arrow to make this spiral in more or less. But I think maybe right there might be good. Boom. And now we have our perfect spiral that we could work in if we want to as well. I think Catherine's very much like the perfect spiral type, just so you know, because her cookies look amazing. But anyways, you guys get the idea. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it needs work. It needs work. There's never enough time. There you go. Needs to be smoothed out. You guys get the idea. This needs some work too, but hey, that's why we're here. Is to get better. Let's do 12. Yeah. There you go. Sometimes I will like pick some colors and then do the like exact opposite of that. Let's outline this. Okay, so these colors, we know they don't work. That's okay. If you're stuck with colors at all, like I know these don't work, select them, go into Recolor Artwork, and just try some new things. Like we could even let's take this color palette right here. This is what we'll do. We'll just steal this, just this upper section, because I don't want to grab a lot of the shadow, but that's all right. Drop this in here. There it is. Say, hey, you know, we're going to steal the colors from her cookies and apply it to her logo. So edit colors, Recolor Artwork. Here we are, color theme picker. We can click, or we can do a click and drag and grab even more colors. Why is it only... I don't know why it's really not changing that much. That's interesting. But either way, you could always go into advanced options and tweak it some more. You guys get the idea. I'm down to my last couple minutes. There we go. I like this sort of color palette. I would probably brighten it up some. But I think this looks more of a mature, this is more of a mature palette than this one with this pink. So for what it's worth. All right, guys, I've done a lot of work. I'm wiped out. I also want to talk about this. There's more than just 5, by the way. We can get into other details, and this I just grabbed off of just another reference website. You can get into, like, you can make a mascot, pictorial, but again, you're kind of getting into the weeds a little too much if you go beyond 5, if you ask me. So anyways, you guys get the idea. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we tried to make 3. We had some successes, some wins, some losses. Hey, it can't be perfect all the time, but it is a start. Rachel, you're awesome. I think the Q Air one has like the most potential. Like that's the one I would spend more time on because I think we can get it looking really nice and elegant. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna turn it over to T. White's in the house. Terry White, the one and only, doing some photography magic. I appreciate him so much, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I'm going to be back also with Photoshop Masterclass, as Sean mentioned. So thank you so much, Sean. Everybody, appreciate you. Take care. Stick around for T. White. I'm going to be hanging out with him as well in chat and basically just being disruptive. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.